In 1866, a round arch Romanesque style building was constructed adjacent to the Lawther Block addition on Bush Street. This building, referred to as the Smith Block, first housed the hardware store of Peter Nelson, who was at one time a state senator and a leader in the Swedish-American community. Quickly following the construction of the Smith Block, in 1867, Paul Wallower constructed another building adjacent to the Smith Block. Wallower, a local butcher, ran his meat market here, and a Mr. Buttroff opened a furniture store on the street level. Wallower also called his building home and lived above his store for many years. Common to the Romanesque-style commercial structures in Red Wing, built just after the Civil War, the round arch designs of the windows and cornices of the Smith and Wallower buildings, now combined and known as the Smith-Wallower Block, are predominant features. As was not uncommon in the mid to late 19th century, the third floor of the Wallower building contained a meeting hall originally used by the Good Templars, a fraternal organization in favor of temperance. It was in the Good Templars Hall in 1869 where Mrs. Julia Bullard Nelson led a debate on the question of women's suffrage. Mrs. Nelson, wife of Ole Nelson, a Civil War soldier, was a popular local speaker and author on education, temperance, equal rights, and other issues. Of her many arguments for municipal voting rights for women, Mrs. Nelson contended that the declaration that all men are created equal did not mean all males, and pointed out that males differ in stature, strength, mental power, figure, feature, color, wealth, condition, etc. Mrs. Nelson elaborated this point, declaring that
there is but one thing in which all men and all women are equal, and that is equality of natural rights, equality of privileges, equality of opportunity. The ballot is the sign and seal and guarantee of equality of rights. If women have any rights at all, they ought to have the guarantee of the ballot with which to defend their property rights, their education, their industrial, and their home interests. That those who must obey the law should have no voice in the choice of rulers is un-American. It is opposed to the principles for which Jefferson spoke and Washington fought.
Mrs. Nelson was one of the early advocates of women's suffrage. In 1870, the 15th Amendment of the United States Constitution was enacted to prohibit the denial of voting rights based on race, color, or previous condition of servitude. However, it wasn't until 1920 that the 19th Amendment establishing women's suffrage was enacted.